Alright, welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. Joyce and Zhang are going to get it on this coming Saturday. You know, when you have two names like the Juggernaut versus the Big Bang, it's probably going to be a really good fight. These two guys are both giant dudes, both 6'6". Obviously, Zhang 39, Joyce 37, but they can both punch. They've both got chins. We're going to find out just how good Joyce's chin is.
Boxing.
Okay, shout out to all the subscribers. Big up to anybody new. I'm excited for this fight on Saturday. I hope you guys get a chance to watch it. It could be an explosion of a fight. But then again, depending on Joyce's tactics, it could be a tactical fight. How he same as Dubois, you know, I personally think it will be a bit more of that. I think there will sure be some heavy exchanges, and but I think it will be down to Joyce who's going to dictate the pace a little bit more, because, well, look, he's coming off an absolutely tremendous performance against Joseph Parker. And if he comes out like that and Zhang is game for it, I mean, we could be in for one hell of a fight. It'll be a bit of a rock'em sock'em. I do like to see some skills in there, if I'm honest, but nonetheless, I don't think Joyce will do that. I think he knows what's in front of him. Joseph Parker, let's be honest, he's not the biggest puncher in the world, which leads me to my next question, which, you know, shout out to Hatman. I was talking to him on his Element group. And I was thinking, you know, wow, Joyce's chin is looking pretty remarkable, really. And then he was like, well, who's really hitting? And when you look down at the resume, like Joseph Parker cracked him, but like I said, he can't really punch like, you know, like a big, real heavyweight. And then you go down, Christian Hammer, who's he knocked out? Nobody. Like, if you look at the names, he hasn't knocked out anybody of name, like a notable opponent. Which doesn't always necessarily mean you haven't got power, but usually, you know, we just decipher this. Then Carlos Takam, he's not the biggest puncher. He hasn't knocked out anybody of note either. And so, and the list goes on. And then Dubois never really landed clean on Joyce, like clean, like straight hand down the pipe. He landed a couple of random grazing shots. Joyce did a great job of moving and boxing in that fight, obviously using his jab, but he was using a lot of he was trying to get away from the right hand, and you know, when he got up close, Dubois caught him with a couple of shots to the side of the head, but nothing crazy on the chin, because Joyce has been stopped, you know, in the amateurs by, I think it was Sergey Kuzman in like the first round. So how good is this chin? We're going to find out, because Zhang has got an awesome left hand, and you know, Joyce is going to have to do his best to circle away from that left hand, but he's got a sneaky right hand. Zhang's got a sneaky, he's a good little counter puncher, and he's got a sneaky right hook. So will that be a factor? If Joyce is trying to get away from that left hand, he's going to be walking into a counter right hook. And he caught Hrgović with that hook several times. And, you know, I think, you know, the fact that Joyce has got Ishmael Salas in his corner is a massive bonus. They've been working great together, and you know, he's obviously he'll go down as a Cuban legend. And when you have that type of knowledge in your corner fighting southpaws, it's only a good thing. You know, they know their southpaws, how to fight them, how to be one. So the game plan will be very astute. I think they're going to try to. Oh, jabbing is going to be an interesting competition, because Joyce's jab is a little odd. You know, it's technically a little bit weird. I was saying to someone the other day, I was like, imagine if you're in the gym, right, and your trainer wants you to spar somebody, and you've got like 100 guys on the bag, hypothetically, and Joyce is on the bag. You'd probably pick him. You'd be like, oh, let me pick that guy. And then you would be regretting it after about 1 minute, because you're thinking, my God, what did I get myself into? But I'm just saying that in terms of his technical punches, just look very unorthodox. And it just, I just watch him. I'm like that's like, it doesn't look like you're so far away from a, you know, a clean classic boxing technique. But it's very effective. He's very effective with his engine, with his beard, with his, you know, physicality, with his, like, just, it comes in great shape. He looks so physically strong. You know, he looks like he could bear hug a grizzly bear. So, you know, you have all these things. He's a tough man to beat. And I do think this fight's going to be a bit more tactical. I think it's going to have its massive, savage exchanges here and there. But I think, like I said, Zhilei Zhang is a neat little counterpuncher. And he had Jerry Forrest on the deck a few times with counterpunching, one for sure. And how's Joyce going to deal with the jousting of his jab against the southpaw? It's a little different for heavyweights. They're not as, you know, using their footwork as much with it. If you're fighting a normal southpaw, there's a little back and forth with this. And the feet, is that going to be a thing? Joyce is going to have to, I think he's got a good opportunity to go to his body. He's got a nice little looping right hand to the belly. He's going to have to chop that overhand right in. It's going to be a weird fight. I think it's going to be weird. It's going to be violent, and it's going to be back and forth, and it's going to be a lot of ebbs and flows. When Zhang fought Hrgović, I know he was going through some stuff at that time, definitely, but he did not look like he wanted to be there. Several times in that fight, his body language looked terrible. At times, he wasn't even facing Zhang. He was walking off in the other direction. And it was just, you know, you could just say, you could see he didn't want to be there at times, you know. And I thought Zhang won that fight, to be honest with you. He was lighting Hrgović up in a couple of rounds, really landing that right hook. He was landing that straight left. Hrgović has got a beard on him as well. Can Joyce take those left hands? It's going to be fascinating, man. I can't wait for this one. I don't think it's going to be the super bomb explosion fight that a lot of people think. Maybe in spots. I think it's going to be tactical. I think Joyce is going to move a lot. I think he's going to get away from that left hand. It'll be interesting to see how he deals with that right hook. They're going to know about that. They're going to have a good game plan. My question is, can Zhilei Zhang fight the same way he fought Hrgović, but with Joyce? Obviously, Joyce's engine appears to be far better than Hrgovic's, because Hrgović, they were both absolutely exhausted after that fight. And I get that they're heavyweights and they were throwing a lot of punches, but Zhang looked absolutely exhausted after that fight. And you think to yourself, if he fights that pace with Joyce, and well, obviously the big question, Joyce, can he stand up to Zhang's power? And, you know, at times if he needs to, but I can see a late stoppage. I can see Joyce stopping Zhang late here, based off of just how exhausted he was. Zhang's also been down in the past, and funnily enough, you can't find that. You can't find that footage anywhere. I looked for that for about 10 minutes, not a single peep. And he got dropped. It was early on in his career, to be honest. It was in the 4-rounder, so yeah, it doesn't always mean that much. But I was just trying to get some inside scoop on how he got dropped. But yeah, they took the footage down. So, but I personally think Joyce is going to stop Zhang very late, and I think it's just going to be a tactical performance with ebbs and flows. I hope he's able to manage his jab situation and have a few more punches in his arsenal, because Joyce has fought a southpaw, but it was a few years ago. I don't think he's fought a southpaw like this before, because he's going to get cracked on the chin at some point. Zhang's going to hit him at some point. How's he going to deal with that? But I think ultimately Joyce, he's on the momentum. Amazing performance against Parker. He's on the up. He's a little bit younger, a bit fresher, and, you know, more durable. Well, Zhang's durable. It's going to be a good fight. Let's see. Let's wait and see. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I've got Zhang getting stopped late, 11th or 12th round, something like that. I wouldn't be shocked if Joyce won on points either at all. That's probably the closest bet. But outside of that, I hope we get a good fight. I hope these two giant dudes come out safely. We get entertained. And as boxing fans, that's all you can ask for, isn't it? So let me know your thoughts. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And that is it from me. I'll see you soon. Boxing on the Edge.
Boxing
on the edge.